All right, so today's class is on listings and landing pages in Command. So right now, to get started, I am on the sign-in page for KW Command. I am at agent.kw.com. And I'm going to go ahead and get signed in. So my username and password is the same as my KW. So I'll give you guys a moment to get logged in as well. And once you do sign in, that's going to bring you to the home page of Command. All right, so before we get into creating any landing pages, we want to make sure that all of our personal information on our account is up to date. So we're going to go up to the top right and click on our name. And from here, we're going to click on Settings. This brings us into our command settings, and it first brings us to our applications page. This is where you can access all the different apps that you can integrate with Command. But we want to go over to the left, and we're going to click on Connect Settings. That's going to open this up, and then we will click on Marketing Profile. All right, so this is where you would go to update your information that's going to appear on your marketing materials through Command. This is also where the information will pull from for your new IDX site. So we really want to make sure that everything in here is complete. Sorry, viewer 83, you cannot teach my class today. I'd love for you to, though. That'd be nice. So this is the marketing profile. If you've done a setup with us, our setup questionnaire, we do go through this section and set it up for you. But if you need to ever come in here and make any updates, this is where you would go. So up at the top, it starts with your photo and your team logo. So these do need to be a square and less than 1 megabyte. So if you have an image that is not a perfect square and you upload it, it may look kind of wonky and kind of warp your face. So you definitely want to make sure you resize that. If you have any trouble, let us know. We can help you out. But this is where you would add in your headshot and your team logo. And then down below, it'll continue and you can add in your personal information. So anything with this little red star that would be required. So of course, first name, last name, and then you can add in additional information like your agent license number, your team name, your designations or credentials, a bio, and then down below there's some more required information, your mobile number and an office number. These are both required for Command. Looks like we have the same in both, which is totally fine. Email address and website address. Your DBA logo, this might be your office logo, good place to put that. And then your market center information. So we need a market center name and then the address. So please make sure that this is actually your office address and not your home address. And then you can choose to add in your brokerage license number. And then there's a spot for a legal footer. And then we have some spots for your social media information. So we recommend creating separate business pages for your real estate business. You wouldn't really want to put your personal Facebook on here or your personal Instagram. Make sure that you're creating a new one for your business. You can add in those different social media links here, links to your profiles. And then down below, this section is for your new IDX site. You can add in Facebook Pixel and Google Analytics for tracking. And then lastly, you do want to make sure that your KW app link is in here. On some of the different email pieces you create and on the landing pages, there is a spot where people can click on it and they can download your mobile app. So you really want to make sure that your mobile app is linked here. And then once all of this information is up to date, you can click Save, and this will update right away. So it's super important to do this first, just so when you're working on anything in Command, you won't have to go through every single thing you're working on and update it as you go. If you come here first and make sure everything is good to go, then everything will just pull over automatically and you won't have to worry about editing this personal information on each individual marketing piece. All right, so that's the marketing profile. And now what we're going to do, we're going to start by creating a neighborhood page. So we're going to go over to the left and we're going to go into our database and click on contacts. So this little icon on the far left that looks like two people, we're going to click on this and go into contacts. All right, this brings us into our database. We can see all the different people in our database. You can see we are big superhero fans here at Scott Leroy Marketing. Looks like we don't discriminate between DC and Marvel. We're all there. But what we're going to do, so to create a neighborhood page, you would come here and then click on the individual for which you would like to create the neighborhood page for. So I will just click on me. And that's going to bring me into this contact's information. So here we can edit their personal information, track the timeline. Oh, do I have neighborhoods set up? I do. Let me click somebody else because it looks like I already have this set up for myself. So I'm going to go back. Maybe Bruce, one of three. Oh man. Trying to find somebody that we haven't set this up for. I can just delete it, which is fine, but okay. So this contact, Bruce Wayne. So in here we can edit their information, we can view the timeline of any interaction or things that they've done, set up opportunities, smart plans, things like that, but I want to start with the neighborhoods. So one cool thing you can do with Command is create this awesome neighborhood landing page. So I'm going to scroll down over here on the left under Bruce's information, and there's a section here called Neighborhoods. So what we're going to do is we are going to click the Add Neighborhood button, and then we have the option to either search for a neighborhood based on, you can just start to type things in. So it is based on, I believe, your location, so it's going to pull up these things first. So I am in Nashville, so I started to type in West, so I can put in like West End Centennial Park, and you can see it's starting to generate this page for you, which we'll go into and actually see what it looks like. But from here, we want to first add in their neighborhood. So this is really good. I think it's good for buyers and for sellers, but it's probably most tailored to buyers. So you want to create these around neighborhoods that this person is looking to buy in. So you can start to type those in. You can also find them on the map. So if I click Find on Map, it's going to pull up this interactive map here. You can see this is where I am, but it's showing the whole United States. So let's just try and type that in again. West End. Cool. All right, so this is showing Nashville. So what I want to do, I typed in West End Avenue, and now it's showing me the different neighborhoods around it. So you can see it has broken it up by neighborhood. So you can go in, find the neighborhoods that this person is interested in buying in, and start to select those. So I can select Music Row, Edge Hill Village, Edge Hill, Belmont, 12 South. These are all really nice, expensive areas that I would love to live in. So you can go through and start to select those neighborhoods. Once you have selected all of the ones that your client is interested in, you can click Save. And you'll see them all displayed here. If you need to remove any of them, you can click this little X and that'll remove them from the list. But what it's doing is creating this awesome landing page that you can send to your clients. So what I'm going to do is I can copy the link and send that to them, but if I click preview, it is going to open this page up. We can see what it looks like. So I think, does this bring me to the home page? Okay, so this is that landing page that we just created. It's a neighborhood snapshot page. So up at the top, you can see it did plug in our logo, our headshot, and our contact information. And up here, it is showing the different neighborhoods that we added in for this person. And if they wanted to, they could click Add Neighborhood and see more information about that. But basically, if you scroll down, you can see that map. They can, it's interactive, so they can scroll over and see different listings. It does show listings over here on the right. It looks like a lot of these don't have photos, which is a bummer, but they can scroll through. Basically, based on this first page, the home page, they can go through the different neighborhoods and scroll through and see listings. I'm not sure why a lot of these are not showing the photos. Oh, this one's so cute. It's pink. 1.4. Wow. But they can go through and see different listings and hopefully find, listings that they are interested in purchasing and get back to you. And you can set up a showing for them. So they can scroll through, look at these different listings in these different areas. So this is the first page, the home page. If we go into neighborhood stats, it kind of breaks it down a little bit more, which is really cool. This is similar to like a CMA. So it shows, so for Music Row, there's 23 homes for sale, 7 pending, shows the average home price, price per square foot, and the average days on the market. And then this one's probably not, let me pick a better one that'll have like restaurants and stuff. So basically, okay. All right, so I chose 12 South, which is a very desirable place to live in Nashville. So it does show homes for sale pending, this information here. It's showing the map over here on the right. And then it says explore neighborhood. So if we keep scrolling down, it shows us some more stats, current stats and sold stats. Transit and commute. So this is pretty cool. If somebody is interested in living in this area and maybe they work in a different part of town, they can click search for place and put in that place that they would be commuting to. And it'll show you an average of what that commute would look like. So that would probably help determine if somebody wants to live in this area or not. Shows nearby schools. And then places. So this is really cool. If they are interested in this neighborhood, they can go through and check out different things in this area. So it does have highlights. So these would be like popular restaurants and shopping and things like that. But then you can break it down by restaurant, groceries. This is nightlife, cafes, shopping, arts and entertainment. Pretty cool. So they can go through and just see the different amenities and different things in this area. And then down below, it'll show those listings again in this specific neighborhood, and then information about the nearby neighborhoods. So really cool. And then of course, there's a contact form down at the bottom, and then your information here. And there's that download my app button that I mentioned earlier. Really important that you put in your mobile app code, so when they click on this, they download your branded app. But yeah, so basically it creates this really awesome neighborhood snapshot page, so people can view more information about the different neighborhoods that they're interested in. So that's neighborhood stats, and then of course About Me is just about you. Has your contact information. This is the info that we set up on that marketing profile page. And then for this one specifically, since we set up these neighborhoods for this person, it says serving, and then all of these neighborhoods. And then of course your contact info is down below. So super cool, great resource for you to send to your clients so they can check out new listings. You could probably even create one of these and post it on your Facebook, email it to people, what have you. So that is how you can create that neighborhood snapshot page. I'm going to go back over to Command. And let's say you wanted to create, I'm going to go in now and show you how we can just create general landing pages. So let's say, for example, you have a new listing and you want to create a landing page specifically for that listing. So I'm actually going to expand my window because there we go. All right, so over here, what we're going to do, we're now going to go into our landing pages section. So I had to expand my window a little bit so you guys can see it because it's down here on the bottom. So the far left, we're going to click on this little icon here for sites. And I'm going to make my window smaller again because I like to be able to see everything. Okay. All right, so we clicked on sites. And this brings us first to our landing pages. So we can see all of our landing pages here, and we're going to go through and create one now. You can see the status, whether these are live, if you need to pause one or make it inactive. You could just basically click on this little switch button, choose yes, and that'll go to inactive. You can see it's kind of been switched off. It shows the name of the landing page, the URL, so like the link that you can send to people, how many leads have generated from this landing page, the date created, and then this ... you can click on for more options to edit, change the URL, remove the custom URL, activate, or delete, but we'll get more into that when we create one. So those are just our landing pages. You can also access your agent site pages from here. I'm not going to go over this today because these new sites are launching next week, and we do have individual classes on getting prepped for the new site, but I know Scott is going to be teaching our first class on the new sites next week. So I would just, watch our prep classes for the new sites beforehand, and then make sure you watch that class next week that goes over the new IDX sites. But basically, this is where you would go to create the different pages for your new command website. And then neighborhood pages, this would be, this is just showing the different pages, neighborhood snapshot pages, and who they are associated with. So this is where we just were. We just created that one for Bruce Wayne, and this is showing you all your different neighborhood pages here. So we're going to go back to landing pages. And let's say you have a new listing. Like I said, you want to create a landing page for that specific listing. We're going to go over to the far right and click Create a New Site. And here we go. We have two options here. It says choose page type. Where would you like your page to be displayed? So if you were creating a new page for your agent site, you would click this first option, on my agent site. That's for the new IDX KW command website that's coming out. But we want to create a standalone page. So we're going to click this second option. And then create page. All right, so up at the top, you can see this is where we would add in the name of this landing page. So it says new landing page template, and then some jumbled letters and numbers. So we want to change this. You can call this whatever you want, but for this one specifically, we are creating a landing page for a listing. So I'll just go ahead and call this the property address. So I don't have a specific listing in mind. We're going to go through and choose one later. So I'll just do 123 Main Street. Let's pretend that's our listing that we're working with. And then if we scroll down, you can see it's basically like a blank slate. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the right, and we can use these widgets and basically drag and drop and create the content of our landing page. So it's pretty easy, pretty fun. So basically you just pick what you want from over here and add it to the site. So let's start with a branded header, and as you drag these over, you'll get a better idea of what they are and what they look like. So I'm going to click on branded header. I'm clicking and I'm holding, and then I'm dragging this over to my page. And this little green line here, this is going to show you where on the page it's going to go. So when you have multiple things on here, you can move them, I can change the order around. So I'm going to unclick, and there we go. So it added a branded header. So basically up at the top of my page, it has my contact info and my logos. So let's just keep adding stuff to our page. So that was our branded header. Probably want to start with our listing after that because that's what we are advertising on this landing page. So I'm going to click listing. Drag that over, and you can see if I wanted to put this above the header, which would not make sense, I could put it there. You can see the green line at the top. I would like it below, so I'm putting that down below. The green line is below that header section. So when I unclick, or I guess, I don't know how the best way to say unclick, but let go of my mouse button, it plugged in my listing. So for now, this is just like a spaceholder listing. We will go through our next step after we add in the widgets would be to configure them. So once we choose our listing, it'll plug in this information for us. But you can see it's going to add in information about the listing. It has a photo, property address, the price, stats, property description. They can scroll through the photos, more details, and then it shows it on the map. So that's the information that will display in this listing block. After that, let's add in a lead form. So if they are interested in this home, they have a way to contact you. So I'm going to select lead form over here, click it, drag it. Please drop for me. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, so then this is my lead form. So now people can come here and add in their personal information to get in touch with you about this listing. I'm then going to add in agent branding. So this is just more information about you. I'm going to put this down below. I probably need to make my window bigger. There we go. All right, so I added in the agent branding. This just has more information about you, your headshot, name, license number, address, contact info, all that good stuff. And then lastly, I will add in my legal footer. Where to put that? Okay, there we go. I wasn't sure if this was the whole thing. All right, so my legal footer, it did put, this is the best way to wrap up your landing page. It has our social media links on there, our logo, the office, contact information, and then that copyright Keller Williams Realty. Each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated. All right, so we have created the content of our site. Those are just the widgets. You can also use the content blocks. So if I expand, I can't talk today. Sorry guys, we've had a crazy week. Content blocks, if I expand this, there are more options we can put in. Buttons, dividers, images, links, link block, quote, text, and text section. So let's say I wanted to add in some text. Maybe after the listing and above my lead form, I'll put in a text box. You can see my little green line is above the contact form, so it's going to drop it there, and I can insert text here. Oop, is it letting me type? So I'm trying to, hello? So I'm trying to type in here, but it might be acting kind of glitchy. This is funky. Okay. I don't know why. So there's my text box, but it put it there. So what I'm going to do, if you wanted to move this around, change the order, I think this is a duplicate button. If you want to copy a section, you can use these different features here. I want to trash this and see if it goes away. Huh. What is this? So I don't know what it did, but it plugged in my text here somehow, and I can't remove it. I'm going to hit undo. Sorry guys, I don't know why or how it plugged that in right there. That's so funky. Is that my last option? Huh. Okay. It like added text on top of the lead form, but let's say I did want a text box here. I can highlight that. Oh, my text box is gone. Okay. I'm going to drag that back over. So strange. I don't know what this is, and I can't get rid of it. Well, let's pretend that didn't happen. I added my text box here. I can edit the text. So I'm going to write, let's write, contact me today for more information. And then maybe a phone number. I can change the font. We have a few different font options here. Change the sizing. Whoa, that is massive. There we go. So you can add in different things. You guys get the general idea. Basically, you're just dragging different elements over here on the right, over to the left to configure your page. So I'm actually going to just remove this text box. I don't know why this is here. We're just going to pretend that didn't happen. But once you've added in all of your information, there are also different layout blocks. So you can add in like different sections. Maybe you want a section up here at the top that's 3 different sections with 3 different photos in it, what have you. You can add those in. So you guys can play around with that and create the page to look however you want. So after we've added in our widgets, you can tell that some of this is just generic information. We have to configure them for us to be able to publish our page. You can see up at the top, we can save this, but we can't publish it just yet. So actually I am going to save this just so, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. So I like to go ahead and save things just in case, you know, something happens, your browser crashes, your internet goes out, maybe you lose your work. So this is the one we were working on. So I saved that as a draft and it took us back out, so I apologize guys. I'm going to go back in. It's showing my draft up at the top. This is the one we're working on. I'm going to click on the ... and edit this so we can finish creating this page and publish it. Alright, sorry about that. So we're back in here. We need to configure the widgets so we can publish our page. So I'm going to go down to the bottom and click Configure Widgets. So basically what we have to do is work through these items. These are the different elements that we added onto our landing page. We need to go through and complete them. You can see some of these we don't actually have to make any changes because there's already this little green check mark. Combined checkbox and check mark over here. So these ones are already good to go, but we'll just go through all of them. So when I click on branded header, we can now add in text. So it wants us to add in text to the header up here. So I'm going to say proudly presenting 123 Main Street. Oh, wow, 30 out of 30. All right, so we can add that in. Our headshot was pulled from that marketing profile, but if you wanted to remove it or replace it, you can. And then, of course, anything with that little red star is going to be required. So this, all this information here, it pulled from the marketing profile, so I'm just going to breeze on through that. Click Save and Apply. And there we go. So now we can see it added that header, or that text, onto my header. All right, so now I can hit back, or I can, let's hit next. So that was branded header. We're on 1 of 5 things we need to configure. So I'll hit this right arrow All right, and now we need to select our listing. We need to choose the listing that we are adding into this landing page. So I'm going to click Browse Listings. And here we go. It's showing some listings automatically here. Up at the top, you can search by property address, MLS number, or KWLS ID. You can search by the property address. I'm just going to pick one that looks pretty. I'm not sure where these all are pulling from specifically. This one looks nice, so we'll select 2021 Old River, Louisiana. All right, so it chose my listing. If we need to change it, maybe we selected the wrong one, we can click Change Listing. And then we need to select our header image. So this would be like the main image up at the top of this email. So that's usually the first image on MLS. So I'll go ahead and leave that one selected, but this does pull over all of the MLS lists or MLS photos, so you can choose any one of these. Or if you wanted to, you can do custom image and you can upload an image from your computer. Thankfully, this one has photos from MLS pulling over, so I'm just going to select that first one. And now all I need to do is click Save and Apply. And we'll see. Beautiful. So now when we look at our landing page, it's starting to build it for us and plug in everything that we need. So we have our header was updated and now the listing. So it does have the listing photo. It doesn't look like it pulled over the information. It looks like it just added in the photo. So I'm going to hope that as we keep going, it pulls over the property information as well. So let's keep chugging along. So we're on listing for step 2. We will click step 3. This pulls us over into that lead form. You can choose to change this header. I'm going to leave it as is, but if you wanted to, you could change the text here and then I'll pull over here. I'll click Save and Apply. And now we'll click that right arrow again to go to step 4. Agent branding, again, this pulled over from that marketing profile. Our headshot, our contact info, our logo, our website link, contact info, different logos, things like that. So if it does, so it looks like we have the team logo and the DBA logo that are the same. So I'm going to try deleting one of these because they are showing twice here. So I'll go ahead and delete that. Click Save and Apply. There we go. And then down at the bottom, it removed one of those logos. Perfect. So that's our agent branding. You don't, oh. Hi, no problem. We will go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and make note of that for later. No problem. All right, so now agent branding is complete, good to go. We can click the right arrow again. Oh, did I already click Save and Apply? Yes. Click on this arrow to move to the next section, our legal footer. This is where our social media links are, so if we needed to, we could change this out, but it did pull from that marketing profile, so everything should be good to go. So I'll click Save and Apply. And now I'm going to click this arrow here where it says Legal Footer. And now it's showing all of my widgets that I configured, and you can see that they are all checked off. Green means go. So I can click Done. And I don't know why it didn't pull over information about the listing. So what we're going to do, we're going to hit Publish Page and hope that it updated. So we'll click Publish Page here up at the top right. Would you like to publish this as a landing page? This will make it visible to others. So basically we're making this live. I'll hit yes. All right, so once I hit save or publish, it saves my page. Now we have this up at the top. The status is it's live. This is turned on. It has the name of the landing page, the link. So when I click on this link, it will actually bring me to the landing page. So let's cross our fingers and hope that it updated. Did it? No. Interesting. Okay, so you guys can see I picked this listing that was in, I think it was in Louisiana, and it didn't update anything else. So I'm going to try something really quick. We're going to go back in. Maybe the listing I picked is funky and doesn't have all the information. Oops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in here and try selecting a different listing to see if it generates the info. If not, that may mean that this is not fully working at the moment and you might want to wait before you create this. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to move pretty quickly through this so we can just test this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into, it did pull over. Okay, well that's good. Maybe it's just this listing that I picked. So I'm going to pick a different listing. That's so interesting. I don't know why mine isn't changing. So if you guys are working on this, just keep an eye out for that. It may just be Scott's account that I'm in. It may just be a temporary glitch. But make sure before you publish the page or send it to anybody that everything is up to date and displaying correctly. So I'm just going to move on and pretend that this is showing the correct property information. So yeah, it brought me back over to my landing pages page. So my landing page we just created is up here at the top. I can click on the link and now I can send this link to whomever and hopefully get some leads about this new listing. Yeah, it's still displaying Austin. But they can scroll through it, get information about the property, and then contact you for more information. So one thing I want to point out on this page, you can see when we go to this site, this is a pretty long and ugly URL. It's not something you can easily put on a sign or tell people about. So what you can do, there's a couple different things. So we do actually have the option to change the URL here. So I can go to my landing page on this particular page and click on the ... I do have the option to edit and go back in, but secondly I have change URL. So I'm going to click on that. And you can see it does keep the beginning of the URL. You can't change that, but you can change the end. So what I would do is change the end to 123 Main, or 123 Main Street. Probably 123 Main. So you can change that to whatever you like, and then hit create. And now this is just a little easier to send to people. You can see it changed the end of that URL to the property address. Another thing we recommend, since this is still kind of a long, funky URL, you can go to GoDaddy.com and purchase a domain. I've seen a lot of agents do this. They'll buy like 123mainstreet.com. And then a URL is pretty cheap. I think you can get one for about like $12 a year or something like that. So I would recommend that. So you could buy, if you are using these landing pages basically as like single property sites, you can purchase a custom domain for that. We can actually help you point that domain to that landing page, and then instead of sending people this funky URL, you can send them 123mainstreet.com and they will be directed to that page. So just keep that in mind, that is an option. All right, so there's just one more thing I want to go over today before we wrap up. I do want to show you the listings section within Command. So we're going to go over to the left. And this little, looks like a just listed sign. This is where we can access the KWLS 2.0. So I'm going to click on this. All right, so it says listings sneak peek. You are now in the listings panel lab. So basically they're still working on this. I believe it's at about 85% capacity, so it's just about finished. But it says today you can search listings across the United States and Canada. You will soon be able to create and edit manual listings. Keep in mind, stay tuned for improved speed and accuracy of your listing data. So some information, like you saw, some of those listings, like the photos weren't pulling over, things like that. So just keep in mind they are still working on this. And then listings that appear in other apps, Kelly, the lead accelerator, will soon reflect in this new listing feed. So just some information to keep in mind. The new different parts of command will pull from this KWLS. So let's just go ahead and jump in and take a look at it. So I'm going to click Take Me to KWLS 2.0. All right, so a little anticlimactic. When you first come in here, it brings you to your listings. So Scott doesn't have any, so it's not showing anything. But if you are an agent and you do have listings and they're not displaying here, there's a couple things you can do. You need to make sure that your MCA, that's the Market Center Administrator from your office, has added in your MLS ID to White Pages. That is required for your listings to pull over. So as long as they've done that, you should be able to come to this page and see your listings. If that is done and your listings still are not pulling over, you will want to get in touch with KW directly. So you can actually go up to the top and click on this little question mark. And then you can chat with support and it'll basically send them a message. So if you tell them, and it's coming from this account, so it makes it super easy because they know they can already see which account you're contacting about. But basically, if your MLS ID is in White Pages and your listings are not pulling over, use this contact form or the chat here to tell KWRI, like, hey, I have listings, they're not showing. You might want to give them your MLS ID, maybe the property addresses. They can help pull those over. So right here it would show your listings, but if I switch over to listing search, you can see it is now it's now showing different listings. So you can search by address. Oh, that's not going to make sense. Okay, so by property address, MLS number, or KWLS ID. There are different, you can search within a map. Oh, cool. So when I turn that off, you can see, what is that, 2 million? There's just like a lot of listings. So it's showing you how many listings are currently in KWLS 2.0 right now. Like I said, it is at about 85% capacity, so I don't think every single listing is in there just yet, but they're working hard to get this fully up and running soon. You can scroll through your listings over here. You can use the filters to filter through and search for listings. So basically this is where you can go to search for listings. Let's see what we can find. So we can use this search option. I can turn that back on, I guess. Oh. Interesting. Okay, so you can scroll through here, use the map, use the property address, or just the search bar up at the top. A couple things I want to point out before we wrap up today. The KWLS, this will be integrated into your new IDX site. So super cool. You won't actually have to fill out those IDX forms anymore, I believe, which is a big help to your office and to us. This will just automatically pull over onto your website, so you won't need that agreement with MLS, which is awesome. It's going to integrate into, like I said, that new site, the neighborhood pages, and the smart plan. So everything related to listings in Command is going to be pulled from this section. So just keep in mind, Command is still growing and being developed. So if things are, giving you trouble or acting a little funky, it's probably just temporary. They are working to get everything fully up and running as soon as possible. But right now we've seen, some great improvements. Everything is coming along great, and we love these awesome new features that we have available to us. So that is about it for today for our listings and landing pages class. I will take down this person's information just so I can send you the class. We do record these classes and put them on our website and on YouTube. So this will be live pretty soon. But if you guys have further questions for us, definitely feel free to reach out. You can contact us by phone or by email. We are here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern on emails and 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern on phone. So thank you guys again for sticking around on a Friday. I hope you have a great weekend, and if you need anything, just get in touch with us. Thanks, guys.